So ultimately, one of our key focuses and visions is to be a catalyst for the growth and economic development here in the Lowell area.
It's got most everything you need because you can access clients that are all in the 495 bell.
It provides us with a machine shop and a laboratory space. It's really critical for the development work that we're doing.
A space like this really let us grow out and let us be more professional in both our appearance and our behavior.
We welcome everybody to join us here at the Innovation Hub.
My name is Tom O'Donnell. I'm the director here of the UMass Lowell Innovation Hub, a facility that's been open for a little over a year, an incubator co-working facility that targets the support and nurturing of early stage technology companies in a variety of industries. Those industries include areas such as robotics, sensors and controls, advanced materials and nanotech, clean tech, green tech, information technology, hardware and software, as well as advanced manufacturing companies. Companies that are looking for a space to launch and to grow and to site themselves here in Lowell itself. We have a variety of facilities and support. We have offices, shared co-working space, and dedicated desks, a variety of conferencing facilities for folks to hold meetings, as well as a fully functional prototyping makerspace where companies can create those early products, those prototypes that they can then use to go out into the market. We also are a partner with the Work Bar co-working facilities out of the greater Boston area. We also, again, are tied in very aggressively with UMass Lowell because we are part of the campus. And with that, our companies have access to collaborations with faculty and researchers, student interns, and access to a variety of other resources, including libraries and other laboratories up on campus.
My name is John McGill. I'm with Ramona. We're developing technologies for performing a targeted prostate biopsy in an MRI machine. We're located here in the Innovation Hub because we needed both workspace, desk space, and office space, but we also needed access to a machine shop where we could fabricate prototypes for the system that we have. So we've been here for almost a year now. This facility in Lowell is convenient and accessible for a number of the employees. We don't have to fight traffic getting into Cambridge, but it provides us with a machine shop and a laboratory space. It's really critical for the development work that we're doing.
Well, the vision and mission of this center, the Innovation Hub, is something that's been growing for the last 5 or 6 years here on campus. It started with our former chancellor, Marty Meehan, who's now the president of the entire UMass system, but then his number two, then executive vice chancellor, Jacqueline Maloney, who is now our chancellor, and my immediate boss, senior associate vice chancellor, Stephen Tello. The vision to be a catalyst and a facility that would nurture and support early stage companies here in the greater Lowell area. And those companies come from a variety of sources. Those sources include obviously research and technologies coming out of the laboratories at UMass Lowell, but also from the broader area here in the Merrimack Valley, southern New Hampshire, but as well as companies coming up from the greater Boston and Cambridge areas. Companies who are looking for a community and facilities to nurture their early stage growth. And the goal ultimately of that is not only to support them in their early days of growth, but to then tie them in to the broader community here in Lowell. And then, hopefully when they grow and expand, that they site themselves here in Lowell, in the greater Merrimack Valley area, and create their home here in the region. So ultimately, one of our key focuses and visions is to be a catalyst for the growth and economic development here in the Lowell area.
My name is Charlie Dalsaz. My company is called IQ Transit. We're a virtual IT consulting company with a focus on creative solutions. We do data migration, mobile application development, and web applications. When I started out as independent consulting, after moving on from my previous company, I spent a lot of time working at home, and which was great, but you often want to get outside of the house and have some interaction with people. 2 to 3 days a week, maybe 2. I'll work at home part of the time, but a lot of the time it's just nice to be here in an office environment with air conditioning, and it's quiet, and yeah, it's great. So you got all the things you need, Wi-Fi and everything. It's a small city, it's not as overwhelming as Boston, and it's got most everything you need because you can access clients that are all in the 495 belt. So it's terrific.
Well, this model of incubators and co-working facilities is so important because many early stage entrepreneurs and early stage companies cannot afford the resources that they need. They have problems and challenges investing a ton of time in creating that environment and reaching out to the resources that they need and the collaborations that they need. So what we offer here at the Innovation Hub is a variety, as I mentioned, a variety of resources from facilities, from prototyping and fabrication capabilities, from events and programs that support our members here, but also the broader community. Those events include events from lawyers and bankers and others to come in and educate our members in those areas. Programs and events around technology trends and collaborations with larger companies, and other programs that support the companies overall, and then tying them in to the broader capabilities and resources at UMass Lowell. Resources that include access to our libraries and other facilities, but also the opportunity to collaborate with our faculty and staff and researchers, as well as students for internships. And those resources help these early stage companies accelerate and advance their early development in all kinds of different areas. So what we see ourselves is a facility and a resource to help them get over that early stage hump, that early stage, the early stage challenges, and help them accelerate their growth and eventually get to the point where they graduate from here and then branch out into the region and hopefully grow aggressively, hire more employees, create more partnerships, raise more funding, and grow and advance their companies here in the Lowell area. Well, this is not the model for established and larger employers for the most part, but there is a need for that because a lot of large companies have remote employees, and those remote employees tend to work at home, which is very isolated in many cases and it causes challenges in many ways. So a lot of the larger employers are interested in partnering with organizations like ours, with facilities like ours, to create an option for them to have their employees work in a much more collaborative and engaging space that allows them to leverage all those resources so that the companies don't have to invest in that overall. But even though that is one of our focuses, our primary focus is on early stage technology-based companies in the range of 1 to 5 or 6 employees, companies that are looking for an environment that will help them get established and then grow as aggressively as possible and connect to the broader resources here at the Innovation Hub, but also leveraging the partnerships that we've established with other companies, whether they be lawyers, bankers, other organizations that can help them grow, but also tying into other organizations here in the community and in the state more broadly, and very much tied in to our relationships with organizations down in the greater Boston area, as well as our very strong collaboration and partnership with WorkBar, a community and a group of co-working facilities that we have our access to right now. They're growing, they're expanding. WorkBar is, their 4 core facilities are in downtown Boston, in Cambridge, in Arlington, and in Somerville, very much at the core of the innovation economy here in the state. So our members here have the ability to leverage and use those facilities, but more importantly, and as importantly, companies and organizations down there have the ability to come up and tie in with what we're doing here in the Greater Merrimack Valley region. Well, we believe the UMass Lowell Innovation Hub is unique because in many ways, the location here in the Merrimack Valley and the access to the resources we have, but also because we are a core piece and part of the UMass Lowell campus. We have the ability to tie in and leverage and engage with all the resources, not only of the UMass Lowell facility, but of the UMass campus more broadly. So the ability to tie in our member companies with those resources and those facilities is compelling. But what we're doing here as well, right at the facility at 110 Canal Street here in Lowell, is maybe not totally unique, but in the broader region, 30 miles north, south, east, and west from here, there truly isn't anything like what we're doing in terms of the facilities, the community, the programs and events, as well as access to our prototyping and fabrication lab. So that's what we believe very strongly is what we're doing uniquely, and already the growth and expansion with the companies that have come in pretty much validates that what we're doing is attractive and compelling for a wide variety of companies here, early stage companies here in the Merrimack Valley. The types of innovators and entrepreneurs and early stage companies who are already in here and who are leveraging the facility here at the Innovation Hub include companies that are working in virtual reality, specifically for gaming initially, but a wide variety of applications across many, many different industries. We have companies working on artificial intelligence and machine learning solutions that can be used for recognition and analysis of images, and those have a wide variety of applications, including medical solutions as well as environmental and weather solutions. We have companies working on advanced solutions for social media and marketing solutions that can be used for large companies and small companies. We have a company working on next generation solutions that can be used for fish farming, and their technology, their product is a high protein, low environmental impact fish food that has enormous amounts of benefit in that fish farming industry. We also have a company that's working on prosthetic limbs, specifically for the developing world, and that team actually came off of the UMass campus, a team of students, a plastics engineering student and a mechanical engineering student, as well as a business student, and their solution leverages advanced plastics and advanced manufacturing solutions to effectively create a prosthetic that can be priced in the $25 to $50 range, and also has capabilities that allows it to be used over multiple years because it is extensible and expandable, and in the situations where access to healthcare in developing nations is somewhat challenging in many ways, it allows these solutions to be deployed for children who, in many cases, traditionally don't have access to that, and it allows them to grow and use that same prosthetic over multiple different years.
My name is Jonathan Perez Dialderetti, and I am a co-founder of NonSpec, and we make a low-cost, durable, and adjustable prosthetic device for the developing world. So what we do here is we actually are able to both manufacture our parts and do all the R&D work for our early stage development. A part like this will be made over there on this big large CNC, and it lets us test these things before we go to major production, so something like injection molding. And luckily, because we have the relationship with UMass Lowell, we're actually able to make these parts in-house over there right now. And we're currently working on cutting our first stage molds there as well. When you're starting a young project, I think everyone has their kitchen table moments when they're working and they're just like, this is where I'm gonna go. And then as you start to grow and you start to get employees and people that need to go things, my kitchen table was no longer an effective place to be doing that. A space like this really let us grow out. It let us be more professional in both our appearance and our behavior. And more importantly, it really gave us a place that is work. And it's a place where we can go and focus and make sure that I don't have my roommate making mac and cheese right behind me while I'm trying to make a part. It makes a huge difference because it means we can do a lot more in a lot less time. It's a really nice location because it's central to where I need to be. It's a quick commute. Community-wise, we're right across the street from Mill 5. I frequently write grants in there. I'm sure they complain all the time. They sit there and I just like sit there with my one coffee like, I'll just get this done today. 8 hours later. We're really close to the school, which is great for me because I need to commute across, and there's a ton of social activities and activities that happen in the town that Lowell sponsors, like all of the Lowell Makes activities and all of the Greater Lowell initiatives. And so just the other day I did the food truck festival, then I got to come back here and continue working, such is the life of an entrepreneur. But having access to those things to blow off steam and sometimes to bring people who come to work with us is tremendously helpful. The ability to network is one of the trickiest parts, especially when you're starting a new company, because you're not entirely sure who you need to talk to. And so a space like this where you can go out and meet other people who've both done it before and are starting out and a little bit younger than you, and be able to pull everything in together and learn from each other is really helpful.
One other company that I'd like to mention that's here at the Innovation Hub is a company that's working on a next generation application of really powerful sensors in the sensing and control of any number of both water and air measuring and monitoring solutions. First application is around blood and body fluids, but that sensor in the products that they envision can be applied to any number of situations, including industrial process controls, as well as environmental monitoring and water monitoring more broadly in so many different applications. So those companies are here to not only work on those solutions, but to tie in to our other resources, to tie into our community, and also engage with faculty and researchers up on campus for collaborative research. But several of those already have established relationships with our students here at UMass Lowell for internships and collaborations that are helping these companies accelerate their research and their development much more aggressively and at a price point that they in many cases could not afford if they weren't here at the Innovation Hub.
Hi, my name is Lisa Armstrong and I'm the Assistant Director here at the UMass Lowell Innovation Hub. The Innovation Hub is an incubator for early stage startup companies. We've been open for a little bit over a year. Things are going very well. One of the things that we're working on here is developing training and workshops for not only our members here at the Innovation Hub, but also the surrounding communities. One of the programs that I'll highlight is called our Women's Entrepreneur Speaker Series. And in that series, it is dedicated to helping women realize the possibilities of starting their own businesses. Our first series went very well. Our second series is coming up on November 17th, and it involves how to fund your business. We welcome everybody to join us here at the Innovation Hub.
So what we have here is the entranceway to the Innovation Hub. Our staff are here to support our member companies. So here we have our kitchen cafe area. We provide coffee, tea, and other refreshments to our member companies. And this is a very popular meeting space around lunchtime where the member companies come, they have their lunch, and they get to mingle with other member companies and brainstorm ideas and talk about all kinds of interesting stuff. So this area is our open shared co-working space, a space where folks come in, they grab whatever seats available, and this is our entry-level membership for companies wanting to come in and join us here at the Innovation Hub. So here we are on the north side of the building, and as you can see along the windows, we have the dedicated private offices, anywhere from 1 to 4 people per office, and there are a variety of companies in these offices. So what we have here are our 3 smaller conference rooms. Each conference room can fit anywhere from several, 2 or 3 people, up to about 10 to 12. Right now they're configured for 6 people per conference room. Each conference room has a large whiteboard, seating for 6 to 8 people, and a large AV screen where they can plug in their laptops and hold a presentation here in the conference room. So what we're showing you here is one of 2 open collaboration areas. These areas are intentionally left wide open, a little broader, and a little less structured. It allows people from the offices, from up front in the shared co-working spaces, and from the dedicated desks down back to just come, grab the stools, grab the whiteboards, and have a less structured meeting discussion and collaboration. So here we are in the back, dedicated private desk area. It's a little quieter of a space, and as we see here, each member who signs up for this gets a dedicated space, including a locking file cabinet, and that space is theirs. They can leave equipment, they can leave monitors, they can leave their supplies, and nobody else uses that space. It's their dedicated desk. So what we're showing here is the fabrication and prototyping lab. And in this lab we have a variety of equipment, including a laser etcher cutter, a CNC milling machine, several 3D printers, drill press, bandsaw, grinders, lathes, and a variety of electronic fabrication gear. So what we see here is the location for the new courthouse. They just started breaking ground. You can see the backhoes and the fencing is up. And this is going to be the location for the new Lowell Justice Center. Basically the consolidation of the 3 existing courthouses in town. And as we pan to the right, you see in the distance Western Ave Studios across Thorndike Street. And as you may know, Western Ave Studios is one of the largest facilities to support artists east of the Mississippi, and a very vibrant and engaged artist community, and effectively right across the street from us here. And we are looking at initiatives to get more engaged with the artists, get them working with our companies, and getting that collaboration between the more technically focused engineers and entrepreneurs and the more artsy and crafts focused folks, bringing them together and do some collaborations. As we pan a little further to the right, you can see the American Textile Museum, again right across the canal, a facility that over the years has showcased all of the history of the textile business and industry here in Lowell. To the right, you see the rest of the Hamilton Canal District, and then going down towards the National Historic Museum. And as we see here in the distance, the location of other buildings here in the Hamilton Canal District, including a large parking facility and buildings for industry, commercial, and industrial uses. Well, the reason we chose Lowell for the Innovation Hub here at 110 Canal Street in Lowell primarily was that we are part of Lowell as the University of Massachusetts here in Lowell, and we believe strongly in contributing, giving back, and being a catalyst for economic development here in Lowell and in the broader area. So when the decision was made by, right now, our Chancellor, Jacqueline Maloney, and our Senior Associate Vice Chancellor, Stephen Tello, to site the facility, they very much believed that we had 2 basic choices. We could be on campus and be tied in, which is about a mile away from where we are right now, or we could establish here in downtown Lowell and be much more tied in to the business community and easily accessible to the broader community. And it was a no-brainer. The decision to site here in downtown and engage and be part of the downtown community and the broader community here in the region was absolutely the right choice. And we see ourselves being a part of that community and opening up this space for events, for collaboration, for the offices and space for that broader community. And to demonstrate that, we actually have folks from the Office of Planning and Development here in the city who have space in the Innovation Hub itself. And the reason they are here is they want to tie in and be part of the community, establish relationships with the companies, and when those companies graduate and expand beyond the space here, that because they're part of the community, we've established those strong relationships, that it's a no-brainer that they stay here in Lowell, and the folks from the city know where all those sites are with the strong relationships they have with the landlords and the real estate developers. They can tie them in, they can facilitate and accelerate the permitting and other things, and help them also tie into other sources of funding and resources that we are aware of, but they have much stronger ties. So again, to boil it all down, we very much see ourselves as part of the community and have a responsibility to help work with and support the economic development and the increased vitality of what's going on already, but really growing exponentially here in the city of Lowell and in the broader Merrimack Valley. We here at the UML Innovation Hub are part of the University of Massachusetts Lowell and are tied into directly the Office of Entrepreneurship and Economic Development, which ties into our broader Office of Innovation and Research. That office is led by our Vice Chancellor of Innovation and Research, Julie Chen, and we view ourselves as part of the broader community here. But because we are part of the University of Massachusetts Lowell, we have access to all the facilities, infrastructure, support, relationships with the faculty, students, and staff, access to libraries, laboratories, and other resources that we leverage here and we make available to our partner companies.